Hi everyone, this is so exciting. This is my first video documenting our cabin.
So last time I made a video about our cabin build 8 months ago, our land looked like this. And today our land still looks like this. So let me explain what happened. But quickly, for those of you who are new here, hi, my name is Erin. I'm a filmmaker and educator living in New York, and my husband Michael and I, and our dog Olive, are pursuing a dream of building our very own cabin north of New York City in the Catskill Mountains, about 2 hours away from our apartment. We started looking for land in January 2022, and still haven't built a cabin. Anyway, so I'm taking you guys along on the journey. And no, I didn't inherit land from my grandfather. I'm not a trust fund baby. We are doing this entirely independently, and I can explain to you how that works financially. This is the house we're building. It's called The Outpost. It is a tiny, tiny little luxury cabin. It's very small, but it will be extremely luxe, and the land is really nice. There's a creek, and I want to have a sauna and a hot tub, and then I want to have like a separate office ADU. Anyway, it's a unique little novelty. Okay, back to the video. Let me explain what has happened over the past few months. So when you build a house, there is typically a process. Unless you are a multi-millionaire and can just afford to pay the general contractor in cash to build the house, then you don't have to go through any of this. But that's not me. So typically the process would go something like this. You buy your land in cash, and then you use the equity in that land as your down payment for your construction loan. So usually the down payment for a construction loan needs to be at least 20%. So the value of your land needs to be at least 20% of your construction loan. For example, if you wanted to build a house that was $200,000 to build, your land would need to be worth at least $50,000 typically. So once you buy your land, you own your land, then you can apply for a construction loan, so money to build the house, and a building permit, approval from the government to build your house. So when you apply for your construction loan, you pick a certain duration. So you say it's going to take me 6, 9, 12 months, 2 years, whatever, to build the house, and then the loan will convert into like a regular mortgage. So for us, because our cabin's so tiny, we got like a 8 to 9 month construction loan. So they're like, here's your money, you got 9 months to build it, and then your loan term's over, then you got to start paying us back. So long story short, it has taken us the entire duration of the entire construction loan just to get our building permit approved. And when I tell you that this has been making me absolutely insane and depressed, years off my life. Years off my life. It's honestly so hard for me to talk about. And I even got to the point where I told some of my friends and family, I was like, just don't ask about the cabin anymore. I'll let you know if there's an update, but just like, please stop asking me about it because it is so miserable. So, timeline. We bought our land in like March or April, and then we got approved for our construction loan in June. And just applying for a construction loan is a whole thing. You gotta like go meet with a lawyer in person, you gotta get stuff notarized, you need to have like 3 years of tax stuff. It's insane. And then once we finally got approved for our loan, our original builder was like not wanting to work with the bank, so then we had to find a new builder. And the reason why getting a construction loan is so much more difficult than getting like a regular mortgage is because you don't have any collateral. So with a regular mortgage, if you default on your loan, the bank can just take your house. They're like, oh, we're just gonna take your house and then sell it and make our money back. But when you're taking out a loan for something that doesn't exist yet, banks just get all spooky. Okay, so we get our construction loan, we get our builder, then it's time to apply for the building permit. So this is where the government, the local government's like, okay, you can build a house. Or so you would think. So the town we were building in, the local town, I guess had a very lengthy building permit process. So the architect and the general contractor kind of worked on that together. And for some reason it took months. So although we got our construction loan in June, we did not submit our permit until October. And I'm still unclear as to why it took so long to put together. I guess it was just a very tedious application. I don't know. We were told that it was taking so long on the front end because they wanted to have all their ducks in a row that when we submitted the building permit that it could just get stamped within 2 weeks. We were told like 2 weeks and they'll have it stamped and we can start construction and it'll be great. That did not happen. The story was inaccurate. The plot changed. The plot twisted. Now, I want to pause here and say that everyone says the same thing. Building a house is going to take longer and be more expensive than you expected. I know. We were so prepared to go into this extremely patient and knowing that it's going to cost more than we originally expected. Prepared for both. But this was excessive. Every person I've talked to who's built a house, even in that region, was like, yeah, it takes a little longer, but this was excessive. So the town we're building in it's a mountain town. So there's like one person in the entire world who had the power to stamp our building permit. And they were just a little hard to reach. They'd be out of town. I would call pretty much every day. Something would be held up. Somebody would be on paternity leave. Somebody would be on vacation. And then before you know it, months and months have gone by and there's been no progress. And there wasn't really a clear issue with our permit. It was just kind of like there might be issues because we were building in the New York City watershed, and I have a whole other video on that, but they basically don't want you to contaminate the New York City drinking water because of where we're building. So they have to go through all of these different government agencies and paperwork and all this stuff to make sure that you are not going to pollute the New York City famous tap water with your septic system. So anyway, we eventually paid a couple $1,000s to have a surveyor who's wonderful and excellent. If you're in the Catskills and need a recommendation for a surveyor, I got your guy. He went out and he did a detailed survey of the property, and that finally gave the government enough information that they needed to stamp our building permit, and it showed that there was actually no problems. There was no reason to wait this long, and my biggest regret is not doing the survey right up front. I actually thought we had a survey. I thought that we submitted a survey with the building permit. And if I knew that that wasn't the case, then I would have gotten it earlier. But hindsight's 2020. First time building a house, you got to learn your lessons. So anyway, if I could go back, I would get a detailed survey done first thing. Like get your construction loan, get your GC, and get your detailed survey. Because I thought we had that, and apparently we did not. This whole thing was just truly such a learning experience. I just didn't think that getting a building permit would take from June 2023 to March 2024. That's for a 400 square foot cabin. It's literally a tiny house. It is like basically an ADU. It's tiny. And before you go asking, Erin, why are you building such a tiny house? Do you have $1 million you want to give me? I don't think so. Unless you do, then email me. Let me know. No, but I would love to build a larger house in the future, but this one is just meant to be a weekend getaway, a little fun, relaxing retreat spot. Now we finally have a building permit in hand, but our construction loan ended. So we had to pay a huge fee to extend it again, which is crazy because it's not really our fault, But it's okay. It's okay. It's all a learning experience. But I do have some good news to end the update with. We met with our general contractor up in the Hudson Valley, the Amendola Group, and they are amazing. They are so jazzed. They are so professional. They are proactive, which is so hard to come by, proactive people. We're so happy to be partnering with them. And just now today, I got a text from them showing that they started pouring the foundation for the cabin. So that is the culmination of months and months and years of honestly working on this project. And again, I knew it was gonna be hard, I knew it was gonna be long, I knew it was gonna be expensive. But yeah, that was rough. And looking back, there are so many things I would have done differently. But again, it's a learning experience. And I am just so ready to have this little cabin built, it to be a place where family and friends can come and just have a good time and enjoy nature and enjoy each other. And it'll all be worth it when we're sitting around the fire with the dogs by the creek and the foliage is there. I know that the struggle will be worth it. The best things in life aren't easy, but they're worth it. So that's my update. Feel free to drop any questions that you have in the comments below about building a house. And I hope this video doesn't scare you too much. I mean, we're building a cabin on basically raw land in the New York City watershed. Like, it doesn't really get more complicated than that. Don't be afraid. Building a house is a really cool option if you're in the housing market. If you're willing to just put in a little bit of work and embrace the chaos. Again, feel free to message me. You can follow the Cairo Cabin on Instagram. That's where I post updates. And hopefully my next video will have more glamorous and fun updates than this one, which honestly ended up sounding just really whiny. So sorry about that. Anyway, thanks for watching, y'all, and I'll see you next time.